Okay, so this doesn't happen often, but this is probably the only new amp that I've been interested in quite a while, such that I actually asked PRS if I could get a loan of one and check it out. So that is what we're going to be doing here. As a kid, I kind of grew up listening to Creed. Growing up in a church, I could listen to Creed or POD. Those were kind of two options at the time. Hang tag's somewhat reminiscent of a Mesa Boogie. I think the whole amp really is somewhat reminiscent of a Mesa Boogie. I'm going to start off on the channel that is most interested to me, which is channel 2, which is voiced after Mark Tremonti's Dumbles. Or a Dumble. Right, stand by.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
So we're on our middle channel here, gain, bass and middle up about halfway, the master volume about 10 and presence about halfway. gain all the way up on this channel. Right, let's just try our high gain channel as well now. So this is our high gain. And then for our clean, okay, so my immediate reaction here is like, compared to something like a Mesa Boogie, actually quite a consistent sound across the channels and easy to dial in, so that's a positive. I'm going to now plug into the cab and see if we get a wildly different experience. I'm plugging into a Mesa Boogie speaker cab with an open back and an EVM12 speaker. This is maybe just the first impressions. I'll show you the suggested settings that I'm starting off at the top. But I kind of, before I get too in depth with this, kind of wanted to do. So I'm gonna boost the bass to about halfway. Turn the presence down on the clean now and volume up a bit. Spiky, I would say. I'm going to turn the mids up and treble down. Okay, so clean is somewhat going to be blackfacey, I believe. So maybe if I turn the volume down but the master up. that's starting to introduce some kind of power amp compression, and it's kind of getting rid of some of that spikiness. Actually, I'm really liking that. Right, I'm going to go here on my crunch channel and just turn the master. Not the easiest to see the controls on this if you're playing in like a dark club. Has some of the qualities of like a Dumble style clone, where it's actually with a bit of a softer kind of feel to me. That's really nice, and that's with the presence at halfway as well, so it's not being difficult in a way that a lot of the Dumble style clones that I've experienced, kind of, they want to be quite spiky. You don't normally have your own sort of tone stack to deal with them either. Kind of sounds a bit like a clone chucked in front of something like this. Let me turn up the master a bit. Okay, so it's definitely like the drive style of a Dumble. What if we scoop the mids a bit? Right, let's get that gain goosed. It's definitely getting me that kind of vibe. I'm really enjoying that. Kind of still getting that transparency in the pickup. That's an interesting channel to me. That's kind of the standout, I think, of this amp. That was what I was most interested in, and it hasn't disappointed me. Now we're on to the high. okay, first impressions, which was the entire point of this video, is that actually I'm really seeing the benefit. In general, multi-channel amplifiers for me, I've found that a lot of them tend to do a few things quite well, or one thing really well, but don't really, in the way that this is, speak to me on like all terms. Like the high gain part is doing some really nice feel stuff. The Dumble part is doing kind of what I'd like a Dumble clone to do, where it's like that smooth singing, sustaining overdrive. Remember, this has been with no reverb or delay or anything in the loop, but also then with that clean, which is quite a versatile clean channel, I'm able to dial in a clean that I'm happy with, and I can dial in the other channels to be darker or brighter and all that sort of stuff that the Mark III amps that I've had in the past, or quite a lot of the Mesa Boogies that I've had, don't really get quite to this point. You know, in particular, I'm thinking of like the Mesa Boogie Nomad 45, where the channels didn't necessarily blend that well. You'd have like channel 3, which was really quite dark, but did the things that I'd like, and then channel 2 was potentially like doing less of what I liked, and then the clean channel was not very good at all. Whereas this, all 3 channels, I think, seem to be pretty good. I'm going to spend some more time with it, do a more in-depth kind of demo coming up. If you've got questions on the amp itself, or things that you need me to try with it, or want me to try with it, I'll be happy to do that. If you email me, I'll take those on board. But yeah, thanks to PRS for letting me borrow this for a minute to check it out. I think good work from Mark Tremonti. This has been a thing that people have been waiting for a while. I do think it's surpassed my expectations for sure.